Hell of a boss, am I right? It's really no secret that Hell of a Boss has been kind of a big deal in the indie YouTube series fandom. You have series like Amazing Digital Circus and Monkey Wrench and a whole lot of other shows that are slowly starting to come into the fray. But Hell of a Boss always seems to remain triumphant. Well, sometimes undeserving. But that doesn't mean that the series doesn't have its good points and good features. For example, I feel like a lot of the reason why Hell of a Boss even gets as much attention as it does is because of the characters. And I don't mean just the character arcs and shit. No. I'm talking about definitely not character arcs. I'm definitely talking about the designs. Hell of a Boss has some really interesting designs at times. The thing is that I myself can admit that Hell of a Boss does have some very intriguing designs. Some that are eye-catching, and some that make no goddamn sense, and some that are just there to bring in the gooners and the furries and all that shit. It's blatant, you can't tell me otherwise. But then so many people don't see it, right? So many individuals look at Hell of a Boss and think to themselves, ooh, that person is sexy. Oh wait, that person is an evil murderer. As myself, I have my own opinions on the Hell of a Boss character designs. And, yeah, I'm gonna make you all watch me, talk about it. This is completely unscripted. I'm just gonna go throughout most of the main characters of Hell of a Boss and just kinda go along with it. There's a shit ton of characters, mostly due to the fact that they're just so blatant, and because of the fact that we need to make merchandise, everybody. We gotta make merchandise of every single character in the show. Because even if they only have 10 seconds of screen time, we gotta make merch of them, because we gotta use these characters' designs for something. So, let's just go through. Again, unscripted. I'm just gonna go through them each, one by one, and just kind of give my own thoughts and opinions on it. Now, these are all opinions, everybody. So if I say something that doesn't go along with your opinions, then just know it's an opinion. Don't freaking get at me in the comments. Or maybe you do. Go for it. You know, revenue. All that shit, you know? Just do whatever you want to do. But, you know, just don't hate me. Alright, so our first start here is Blitz. First of all, right at the gate, honestly, I feel we're starting out strong. I really like mostly how Blitz's whole silhouette is so easy for a person to actually figure out. That's the main thing with the character. If your character design has a silhouette that is that's like instantly recognizable, like Sonic for instance, then at that point, you've already won. You already have a design that's going to remind people of who they actually are and what series they're from. So for that, I have to congratulate the individuals that worked on this. I really like the color palette of the actual character as well, with lots of blacks and reds and all that whatnot, a little bit of whites peppered in there. Of course, the whites are, you know, kind of integral to like a specific spot in the story. But other than that, you know, it's really nice. I really like the blacks and the reds that accompany the character. You have different shades of reds for different parts of the body, and even with the coat and the boots, I like the fact that those are actually a different shade of black rather than just straight up black, which makes it much easier to tell what part of the bodies are in front of the actual coat and actual boots and all that whatnot. It's better to have multiple... It's honestly better to have multiple shades of blacks and dark grays, bluish... I want to say this is a bluish black. Different types of blacks, rather than just having one type of black. It makes it much easier to know what's going on and what's in front and what's behind an object. The only thing that I have an issue with is that we know that there were spikes, like, going across Blitz's head over there. At least it seems like it is, from how I look at him. And, those are just straight black. They're just straight black, and it makes it hard to kind of see it, like, specifically in this image. It makes it hard to see any of that on this image specifically. But yeah, no. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have a problem with this. I don't really have a problem with this design. I like this design. Design is perfectly fine. Maybe having the spines on his head be a different color could probably benefit. But other than that, it's honestly not bad. So, you know, in terms of rating, it's going to be a rating between 1 to 5 stars, and we're starting off strong here. I'm going to give this a 4-star. 4-star rating. Good job, Blitz. You did a good job. Alright, so next up is Moxxie. Alright, so right here, right off the gate, I'm just going to say it, this design is perfect. This design is perfect. I honestly don't have an issue with this design. He's supposed to be the more formal, the more up-to-do type of guy, you know, straight and narrow. You know, he's got class and all that. And not only that, I love the way that the horns and the hair go together. I really like how it goes together and how it's like almost like a part of his hair with how the white goes into the black and then stripes off to another bit of white and another bit of black. I honestly really like that design. It itches as part of my brain that I just absolutely love. It's just I love it. Also, I really like his outfit. Now, usually when it comes to these type of pantsuits or like these type of like formal wear suits, they usually have the coat and the pants be the same color of black. But in this case, I like the fact that the coat is actually like a different shade rather than just straight up black. It makes it much easier to tell what's the shirt or coat and what isn't. And I really like the bow tie. The bow tie just adds a lot to the whole formal aesthetic without him just looking like the most British looking motherfucker ever, like the most formal dude ever. But it has a level of formal that you can expect from a hitman. He's got the fingerless gloves and all that whatnot, or the little thing going on with his hands. I don't know if the motherfuckers are gloves, but it's part of his body. And then you have the pants that also go all the way down to the feet, almost like he's wearing those socks, like those specific socks that one VTuber wears. I'm not sure what their name is. I'll put the image up on the screen, but you know, that VTuber. So honestly, I like this design. I really can't give any like opinions or thoughts on it. I honestly really like this design. So you know what? 5 star. 5 star. We're on our second character and we already got 5 stars. That's my boy. That's my goat. Moxxie, you're my goat. That's all I gotta say. Moxxie, you the goat. Okay, so now we have our first female character, Millie. Honestly, I don't have a problem with Millie's design whatsoever. Millie's design is honestly a really Actually, there are maybe a couple of things that have confused me about Millie's design. Mostly concerning that bit in between the pants and the shirt. Is that a belt or is that part of her body? I really can't tell. The shirt or the piece there in the middle is the same color as the actual skin on her body. It is so freaking weird. I don't understand what it is. I don't know whether or not it's a belt or not. I've had people tell me it's a belt, and I've had people tell me that it's her stomach. I don't know. Is that supposed to be a midriff? Is that a midriff? Are you trying to be Squirrel Girl, my girl? I mean, you know, what's going on here? What's going on here? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. But regardless, the design is really nice. Even though that belly does give off that strange feel to it, or it confuses me, it's not that bad. And I really do like the fingerless glove thing they've got going on. Almost every character has fingerless gloves that I'm seeing, at least in IMP. You have Blitz with his gloves, you have Moxxie with his, and now you have hers. I'm starting to think that this is not gloves, and that's just their body or whatever, but I don't think that's the case, because I've seen a couple of art pieces where that's gone, usually when it's the pinup stuff. So, you know, I'm just gonna chalk that, at least I believe, I don't know 100%, I believe that is the case. Regardless, it is nice, and the ripped up pants gives an air of her being like very, very mobile. You know, she's very active. She gets her hands dirty and shit. So that's, you know, it's obviously, honestly, a nice design. I'm gonna give it a 4 star just because of the confusion that the freaking belt gives me. That's it. Other than that, this design, I really don't have any issues with it. She's cute. She's cute. Not to mention, yeah, them hips don't lie. Yeah, the hips don't lie. Shakira. Alright, we've gotten to Loona. Okay, so, Loona. Alright. I'm gonna anger some people with this, because, Whoo, okay. Loona's design isn't perfect. Now, don't get me wrong, Loona fits the description, okay? Loona fits the description. She's the hard to approach goth lady that is just really does not want to fuck with people. That's it. That is mainly the only thing that that's the type of thing that Loona is. Also, little tangent. I'm just going to say this outright to the individuals that keep drawing Loona with large breasts. Stop. This individual is not big-breasted, okay? She has literally almost nothing. If it wasn't for that small hump, she would have nothing. That's it. And I'm fairly certain that hump is just fur. Like, that is just fur that is giving that little extra bit of curvature to the chest. That's it. So, literally, stop giving her large boobs. It's not canon. It doesn't make sense. She has hips. That's her whole character. That's the whole attraction to the character. Is the hips and the bootay. That is it. The ass, if you will. The cuppable ass. That is it. That is Loona's attractive features. That is it. Anyway, but side tangent over. Alright, so first off, let's talk about what exactly I'm referring to. Yeah, so I think my main issue, the biggest issue that I have, is the freaking arm and leg situation they have going on. Like the socks look. And I know what you're thinking. Yes, it has been stated that this is not part of her outfit. That is her fur. That is her fur color. That is actually part of her fur. Now, the problem is that all the art that I see of this character with this stuff on always has the fur lined like it's part of her outfit, like it's part of her clothes. Like look at the outlines of the character. You see that there's no outline on the tail that has the same type of color. But on the legs and arms, she has the line indicating, yo, this is where this piece stops and this is where this piece begins. It is not a part of the same color scheme that they're going for. Like, if you look at the gray and white up there, there's no lining. There's no lining up there. It's just flat. It's just a part of the same thing. Whereas in the arms and legs and thighs, they have the lines indicating, yo, this is where this piece ends. Like, if they didn't have that, I feel like it would be much more forgiven. But honestly, I feel like the best way to approach this is to make it to where it kind of gradients a little bit. Like, you don't have to have it gradient going a long distance, just a little bit to indicate that the fur stops here and this is where the next bit of the color continues. I also think I would really like to see her hair kind of have like a bit of highlights at the end. Just a little bit more of the black or the gray. I feel like that would honestly really add to the character design. Just a tad. Phone! Why? I feel like that would add a little bit to the character design, honestly. In terms of clothes, the clothes are perfectly fine. She's got the dog collar there with the studs. She's got the pentagram shirt that shows off her midriff and stomach. And then she got the short shorts that shows off the thighs. We all know what this character's design is for. We all know that the character design is to get the furries to be looking at her and to keep on making art of her. Because yes, even the weirdos that draw the art of her in the Hellhound form or the full Hellhound form that just came out of nowhere, by the way, makes no sense. But, you know, we're not going to get into that because that's going into story beats. And I don't really feel like talking about plot holes and story beats like that. So anyway, just for the arms and the hair alone, I'm going to give this a 3-star. It's definitely not a design that I hate, but those couple of things would definitely add a shit ton to it, honestly. Definitely add a shit ton. So, yeah, 3 star. Okay, so Stolas. Stolas is, Stolas is a character. Stolas does not, honestly, I don't have a problem with Stolas' design whatsoever. He's designed to be exactly what you expect. He's regal, he's formal, and he has more of a feminine type of body type, mostly where the hips are. Although, you know, this dude's literally a string bean, but, you know, the art seems to change that. Man be getting thick in that art, you know? It's, god damn it, y'all are crazy. Regardless, though, it's really nice to see the character design kind of fit the character like this. And I honestly like the whole eye aesthetic they have going on as well. Like, a lot of the times, the top eyes kind of act as eyebrows, while also kind of acting as actual eyes at the same time, for what I've seen. It's honestly not bad. In the hat kind of adds to the whole owl look as well. It adds, like, more, like, of that fur type of aesthetic to it, or like the feathery type of aesthetic, which is honestly a nice touch. And I like how the crown is integrated into the hat. It's honestly really cool. I really like that. It's a cool design choice, and I love the fact that they took this design from actual demonology. Like, Stolas actually looks like this in actual demonology, which is honestly great. I honestly like that. They did their homework. Phone! Why? They did their homework. I like that. They did a good job. I really like that. They did a good job. They did a good job with this. I really don't have anything that I would really change about this character. So yeah, 5 star. That's a 5 star, baby. 5 stars. Ah, yes, Octavia. The glorified plot device. Don't at me. That is what she is at this point. Okay, so, first off, what else do you want me to say? It's Octavia. Octavia doesn't really look too bad. I like the design. It's not bad at all. One thing I have to say. Why isn't there more of Stella's designs in Octavia? Like, don't get me wrong. There are a couple of designs that I can see from Stella. For example, the eyes are Stella's color. The tail has a little bit of white behind her, which is from Stella, and her fingers are also white, just akin as Stella's. I believe that Stella's fingers are white. Actually, I can check right now. Hold on, just give me a second. Actually, yes, Stella's hands are white, just like hers. So, yeah, definitely having a little bit of that. All I ask, can we have a little more? Let's kind of flesh out the two. Let's kind of figure that out. You know what I mean? Also, why is her hair like that? Her hair is feathers, which we can see multiple times in the show. However, these motherfuckers don't look like, this doesn't look like hair. This hair doesn't look like feathers. Oh my god. The feathers don't look like this. Like, the feathers aren't really prevalent in the hair. You can't really see it. It looks like normal hair. Like, this hairstyle looks very much akin to even like goddamn Loona. It looks like normal hair. Looks like fur. So, why exactly does it not have more feather aesthetics to it? Maybe having a couple of feathers poke out at some bits, or having a bit of the hair shaped like a feather. Kind of like how it is in the bottom there, on the bottom of her head. Now that kind of looks like a feather if you squint hard enough, but everything else just looks like normal hair. I think it would also be interesting to see some of Stella's color scheme integrated into her hair. Not to say that it needs to be striped or have like multiple bits of white, but I think that having it like have the tips be white, like white tipped feathers, I don't think that'd be a bad idea. And from what I recognize from her older, or like her younger model or character design, her feathers did have a lighter gradient. Like, the gradient was actually kind of a lighter color. So I think it would be really neat to also integrate that into her older design as well. Because we can obviously state that the whole gradient thing isn't just a child thing. Because if that was the case, Stella Goetia would also be freaking black if that was the case. But honestly, I don't hate the design. I think it would be really nice to integrate that into the design. So, you know what? I'll give it a 3 star. The The clothes and outfit also help with it, you know. She's not meant to be regal. She's not meant to be freaking super regal or super hoity-toity and shit. She's just meant to be she's a British teenager that is just royalty. That's it. So, you know, bam, you know, the art, the character design honestly isn't bad. I don't have a problem with the character design here. The clothes, at least clothes wise, that's fine. So yeah, I'll give it a 3-star. Yes, Stella Croatia, the character that had a whole bunch of people into an uproar because of the fact that she was not a deeper written character. Fucking damn it. The Helluva community is crazy. But anyway, yeah, the design, I honestly don't have a problem with this design. Like, the hair, for instance, now this hair, this is what I was talking about. This hair actually has a feather type of feel to it. I look at this and I think, yo, this could be feathers. This could be feathers. And I see that through the way that the hair is shaped and the way that the hair kind of cuts off with those little bits clipped in. It's almost like the feathers are ruffled a little bit. Somebody be ruffling her feathers, basically. Especially Blitz and freaking Stolas, apparently. So, yeah, I mean, that's honestly really neat. The dress is also really nice as well. I like how the shirt kind of turns into a gradient with the bottom of it being like a reddish pink. And then goes up to white all the way to the neck. I honestly really like that. It's a really nice aesthetic. Her eyelashes, too, give off that kind of very, very regal yet evil type of feel. Like, she ain't no Maleficent. She ain't no Maleficent, mind you. But she is not... You can tell that she's evil. You can tell she's evil just by the freaking smile. You look at this character and you can tell, yo, this bitch is evil. Like, that's how it's meant to be. That's how it's meant to be. The only problem that I really have is that we don't really see too many different facial expressions with the character besides menacing smirk and evil snarl and all that whatnot. I don't think there was really one time where we saw like a really genuine smile. I think at the end of season 2 we did when she was hugging Octavia. I think that's literally the only time that I can think of where she had like a full on genuine smile and not like a bitch smile. So yeah, you know, that's the only thing. If I could see more of that, I don't think I think I could rate it higher. But honestly, to this point, if I was just rating it by aesthetic alone, I'd give it a 5-star. I'd give it a 5. Honestly, I'm giving it a 5-star. Man, I'm giving a lot of 5 stars today. I'm gonna give it a 5-star. You get 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 a 5-star. Call me Oprah Winfrey. I'm over here giving all these 5 stars. Striker. Oh, how they ruined you. So, Striker, Norman Reedus over here. Okay, so we're getting into something crazy here. So, design-wise, I mean, he's fine. I don't have an issue with his design. He's made to be the cowboy hitman. That's obviously apparent. You can tell by the colors and all that whatnot. The colors aren't too, like, distracting. You could see this on a freaking person with, you know, from back in the day, I guess, with a whole hell aesthetic. The only thing I would probably say is maybe having the pants be the same shade as the coat. I feel like that would kind of fix it a little bit, because now it just looks like his shade of pants is the same color as his hair, and I don't understand why they decided to do that. If you wanted to have the pants be a lighter shade, you could have went with white. I feel like white would have gone well with the character. Yes, he's a cowboy. Why would you wear white as a cowboy and back in the dusty ass desert of the Wrath Ring? I don't understand why you would do that. But, you know, hey, whatever. But, not only that, the serpentine look. The freaking serpent look that he's got going on. Apparently, he's supposed to be a demon hybrid. It does not state what kind of demon hybrid he is. It just states, yo, he's a demon hybrid. That's it. So that's the annoying thing that I get from this, is that you get Snake from the face, but what about the tail? The tail does not give snake. The tail gives chameleon, if anything, or some type of lizard, that sort of thing. Because I actually looked this up. His tail rattles. His tail rattles. There is no rattle on the tail to indicate that it would do that. Now, with the whole serpentine look in the face, I can kind of see it. If you squint your eyes, you could see a snake. The only thing that really doesn't make sense is the tooth. Now, I think if you wanted to do the serpent look, you have to go all the way with it. Maybe add a few scales here and there to maybe his tail, or maybe his face somewhere, or his hands, or somewhere around in those spots. I think that would have done wonders. And that snaggletooth, bring that shit to the front a little bit, and add another one onto the other side of his face, so that it gives the whole aesthetic of a thing. Since we're going for the whole snake look. Not only that, but you can also see a little bit of Disney in there with how his eyes look. You can see how he has that kind of Kaa look to his eyes. Kaa from Jungle Book. It has that same sort of circular, hypnotic thing he had going on. Which kind of also is interesting. Mostly because if you haven't seen Jungle Book, you wouldn't really get that from here. Honestly, that may not be what they were going for, but that's just what I'm going to say that they were going for. That's what I get from this character. So, honestly, if they went a little bit more with the whole serpent look, I think that this would have been great. I think this design would have been perfect. But because of the fact that they kind of stopped short with the serpent thing in a lot of ways, yeah, it infuriates me a little bit. Well, I won't say infuriate. It annoys me. It annoys me a little bit. 2-star. 5-star. 5-star. I don't have to explain myself. I mean, what do you want me to say? It's Sally Mae. She's got the hair, nice head of hair, which we've seen both up and down. She's got the scar on her face, which is like, yeah, she's rough and tough, obviously. The horns obviously indicate that they're trans. She's a trans woman. And then the pants, I mean, what do you want me to say? I mean, it's a fire character design, and they also agree with that too, because even though she hasn't really been that really prevalent, except in a little bit in one of the episodes in the first season, and a little bit in the last episode of the second season, then, they have so much freaking merch of this one character that has barely had any screen time, and they're just like, yo, trans representation, which I honestly understand and I get. I'm all for it because, oh boy, those some of them pin up in Valentine's Day stuff with Sally Mae is just chef's kiss. Anyway, 5 stars. Okay, Verosika Mayday. Here is where we get down to it. All right, so Verosika Mayday is interesting to me. So first of all, Verosika has multiple character designs. So we have from the first incarnation, the second incarnation, and the third incarnation. Every episode where she's been seen, she's been in different outfits and styles. So we're gonna go through each and every one of them because why the fuck not? We're just gonna rapid fire through them. The first introduction is good. I don't really have a problem with this. I think that the only thing that kind of gets me is just how the horns are, how they're asymmetrical. I don't know why they decided to do that. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know why. It kind of looks weird. I'm not gonna front you. And you can't say that it's because of how her head's turned. Because if you look at the star on both of them, you can see that there's a whole bunch of space. A whole bunch of space in between. From the 2 points of the black in between. Like, it's obviously, like, mismatched. I don't know why they decided to do this. I don't know why they wanted to. I don't get it. It's kind of weird. But, it's not the worst thing in the world, I guess. The other thing, too, is the clothes. Now, I can get what they were going for with the X's and O's. You got X on one boob, O on one boob. That's fine. That makes sense. You got the star right in there, Star right above where the goods are, It's just like the star of the show. That's not the point that they were making, but I'm making a joke, I guess. And then you have the stockings. One side of the stockings has an X, the other side of the stockings has an X as well. So that's not really a bad idea. I think that looks fine. I think that looks nice. They did a really good job. One problem. Why do one of the gloves have X's, but the other one does not? If they were trying to go with the whole aesthetic of one side has X's and one side has O's, that would make sense. But here is the problem. That completely blows that idea out of the water. Because if that was the case, why is it that both stockings have X's, one stocking has X's, and then one boob has X's, but then on the left, the stocking has an X, the boob has an O, and then the glove has nothing? I don't get what they were trying to go for here. I don't get if they were trying to make like a practical joke or if there's some sort of meaning to it, but it's so freaking weird. I don't understand it. Why did they decide to do this? Why did they decide to do this? If it was me, I would put little rings around the same spots as where the X's are. That way, that indicates the O's. And for the stockings, if you really wanted to get fancy, you can have the X's on the stocking that's on the side of the O's, and you can have O's on the side of the stockings that have X's. You know, kind of do that whole thing. Or, even better, have her switch the gloves so that the X's are on the O side and then the O's are on the X side, but then the stockings are on the correct side. That way, it's like the middle part is flipped, but then it goes back to the original positioning on the bottom part. I feel like that would have been a great idea. Honestly, like this, it kind of annoys me. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of annoys me. I don't get why they decided to do this. You had a whole idea here. If you stuck with that idea, that would have been prime character design. But now we have no gloves, and the whole X's and O thing has been ruined. I don't get it. But anyway, for that reason alone, I'm gonna give it a 3-star. It is not that bad of a design. Like, I don't hate the design. It's just that one thing. That one whole thing kind of like brings me down. Like, it just kind of hits me in my chest. And I'm looking like, why? Why is it like this? So, you know what? We're just gonna move on. 3-star. Alright, so next we have this design. I like this design. I don't have a problem at all with this design. This design is great. You got the whole aesthetic here with the outfit, you know, it is an over-the-shoulder outfit. Perfectly great, perfectly fine. Here's what I don't get. Why is the sleeve not attached? Why do you have a sleeve that is not attached? At least from this picture here, it's not attached. I don't know if it's not attached, but if it's not attached, why would you have a sleeve? How does that thing stand up? How tight do you have to have that sleeve up there for it not to fall? I don't get it. I don't understand what was the point of doing it like this. However, the color scheme is really nice. You have the black, you have the white, you have the pink that's all around there. You have the darker pink for the ruffles of the skirt. And then you have like the brown for the stockings and the shoes with the little heart motif on the bottom. I think that's an interesting choice. I honestly think that's an interesting choice. I also like how they gave her melanin. I know that that's most likely a tan and not melanin, but I still like, I do appreciate a tan, though. I do appreciate a tan. The tan is nice. I don't have a problem with the tan. The tan actually adds to it. So you wanna know what? I'm gonna give it a 4-star. That sleeve puts it on thin ice. Thin ice, pal. Thin ice. Okay, now we get to the best design in my opinion. So, first off, they ditched the whole O of the situation, and they just kept it all X's. They have the X's on both breasts. They have the X's going down the stockings all the way down to the boots, or the stilettos, and then they have the heart in the middle of the black skirt. I honestly love this design. And they got her hair up in a ponytail. I like that. One thing I have to wonder, why is her hair constantly growing? Her hair got longer, I swear, because it's all the way down to her legs. Like, and that's up in like a high ponytail. That's just interesting to me. That's just interesting to me. Yeah. But the design, I really don't have an issue with it. I really like it. It's symmetrical. It's pretty. It's kind of revealing because succubus, but it's also not too revealing that they can't put it on YouTube. It does its job, and I like the design. 5 stars. Ha! Oh, I was dreading when I was gonna get to you. What happened, woman? What happened? What did you do? What did you do? Why did you think this would be a good idea? Okay, so the pants are fine. I have no problem with the pants. The pants and the shoes are great. They have the symmetrical look. They have the heart with the X going across it on the thighs, on each thigh. They have it on each thigh. That kind of goes around her thigh, which is honestly great. It's great. It's perfect. It's wonderful. Wonderful. Beautiful. Now then, everything above the waist, I have a problem with. So, first off, let's go with the shirt. The shirt, obviously, is not terrible. It's one of those shirts that's just like, oh, yay, you know, showing off a little bit of the chest, a little bit, the stomach, the midriff, as they call it. Like, you know, it's showing off all that. It's fine. Here's what I don't understand. Why did they cut off the sleeve? I don't understand why they did that. And it's so weird. What is this supposed to be? What is this supposed to be? I don't get it. It would be one thing if this was an entirely different accessory. Like, it would make sense at that point. But you already have an outfit where it's, like, over the shoulder, and then the sleeve looks like it's not even attached. Why are we doing this again? Why are we doing this again? This could not be, like, this cannot be an actual, like, type of shirt that people wear, right? Like, I can't be the only one that thinks that this is just weird. It's just weird. And I have a feeling that they just did this to show off the tattoo that's on her shoulder. That's literally it. I don't get why they do this sort of thing. I don't get why they did this. But you want to know the biggest offender? The biggest offender of this entire design. What the hell did you do to your hair? Literally, it's like she decided, you know these bangs? I'm gonna cut these things so far up my forehead that I can literally see where her horns begin and where they end. I can see where the horns are attached at this point. I can visualize how she would look bald at this very second and moment. I could play tic-tac-toe on that big-ass forehead. I could land a plane. I could tee up a golf ball at that point. Like, why did they decide to do this? I don't get it. Your hairstyle was perfectly fine, and I get it. You want to change it up a little bit. But come on! Cutting off the bangs? Cutting off the bangs? Did you think that that would be a good idea? Because I think that that's a terrible idea, honestly. Why, in the name of all that is holy and satanic, that you would do that? I don't understand. 2-star. You know what? No. I'm sorry. This is a 1. This is a 1. This design just, like, infuriates me. I can't do it. That's a 1-star. That's a 1-star. Pants and boots can't save you, honey. Go to a hairdresser. Help them fix that freaking hairline of yours. God damn. Tex. Finally. Okay. I can relax a little bit after that bullshit. Alright, so Tex's design is perfectly fine. I honestly don't have an issue in this regard. And you see, this is what I was talking about where Luna's design is concerned. Yeah, as you can see here, there are multiple parts where the lighter shade is being invaded by the darker shade where the fur is concerned. And it still looks good because of the fact that they don't outline it as if it was a piece of clothes. They just have it there. The colors go into each other, which makes sense. That's how dogs work. Dogs don't have outlines like that. Wolves don't have outlines like that. So it makes sense. The outfit also looks fine as well. I feel like the colors match. He's got a consistent color palette, which is great. And you have reds that kind of bring attention to specific points of the body. You have the red on his scar, which brings attention to that, making you wonder, oh, how the hell did he get his scar or whatever, which is probably never going to be explained or never going to be touched up upon, because Tex is literally a plot character. That's it. He's just a plot device in a lot of points where Luna's concerned. And then you have the spikes on his shoulders, which are red, which brings definition to like his shoulders and his muscles and all that way, his biceps. I feel like that's the reason why. And then you have the tattoo, which is great. I feel like that adds a little bit to him. And you can tell that this man got melanin. You can tell that this man got melanin. You can tell that he is invited to the cookout without any sort of issue. He's bringing mac and cheese and potato salad. And he's making sure that mac and cheese and potato salad is completely seasoned correctly. And that bland shit, alright? It's seasoned. It's immaculate. The one thing that I can say, though, is I think it would be a really neat idea if they explored giving his vest a design in the back. To my knowledge, there's really no designs on his actual clothes. I mean, unless you really want to regard the tattoo as a design. But I think it would be a really good idea to kind of experiment with giving his back, like the vest, a design. Like something simple. It doesn't have to be something crazy, just something simple. Something simple that gets the point across. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, you know. Just something interesting to bring a little bit more of a little bit more personality to his design. But other than that, there's really no problem. I'm gonna give this a 4-star. No. Yeah, I'll give it a 4-star. 4-star would probably be the best. I don't have a problem with this design. I just feel like maybe the design on the back of the vest would add a little bit to it, honestly. Okay. Now we get to the part where I'm going to piss off a whole bunch of individuals and people. Once again, my opinions. These are not facts. These are opinions. These are not facts. These are opinions. These are not facts. These are opinions. With that, I say, what the hell is this design? I don't understand. Why the hellhound? Why the hound? Why the hound motif? Why? Where does this come in? How does this make sense? How exactly does this, contribute to the character whatsoever? What the hell were they thinking? Her name is Queen Beelzebub. Should she not be a bee? Should she not be a buzzing bee that just buzz, 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 buzz? Should that not be what she is? The only thing that's bee related is the fact that she has multiple arms and wings. That's it. And the feelers. That is all that she has. That is all bee related to this character has. She doesn't even have the bee abdomen that most bees have, or the stinger. If she had the stinger, that would be an entirely different situation. But why the hound? Why are we mostly delving into the hound thing? It doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. Am I saying that this design is complete garbage? No, I'm not. But I'm saying that it's confusing. You name the character Queen Beelzebub, and you obviously had the idea to go with the bee motif. Why didn't you go all the way with it? Is it because of the fact that she needed to be paired up with Vortex? So they decided, yo, we are going to make her a Hellhound. Well, you have a plethora of Hellhound characters already there. But freaking Eames or Esme, whatever their flying flip is, she's a Hellhound and she bad as fuck. That would have been great. But we decided, no, Queen Beelzebub. We decided that was the best idea. I don't understand why they decided to do this whatsoever. I don't get it. I don't understand. There's no plot relevance to why she's a freaking hound. It just kind of feels like they decided we need a Hellhound as Vortex's mate or girlfriend. But we also need to have her be better than Loona so that we could have that whole storyline going on. So they decided, let's make her an Ars Goetia, and let's go with the whole thing of her being a bee, I guess. Let's make her let's make her the sin of gluttony. Let's do that. Let's do that. We're just gonna throw it out the wall And we're gonna go with that. If you wanted to, you could have had her be Cerberus. You could have had her just be a Cerberus. Because, you know, I mean, Cerberus is kind of a big deal. Yes, Cerberus is Greek. But I'm fairly... Or you could... You know what? You could have went with Marcosius. Marcosius is an actual Ars Goetia demon. Actual Ars Goetia demon. That's inside of demonology. That's an actual demon. And a high-up demon as well. You could have had that same aesthetic. But it would have made sense. And you could have had the whole thing with the hybrid too. Because... Marcosius is said to have a serpent tail and wings, so it still would have done the whole freaking hybrid idea you wanted to do. But anyway, tangent over. I don't have a problem with the whole coloring type aesthetic. Her design is busy as fuck, but it makes sense. Busy as a bee, but you know it's fine. And the whole lava, the whole weird thing she has going with her hair, I get why they're doing that. Apparently they stated that it was supposed to have the feel-good vibes and the laid-back vibes of like a lava lamp from the 70s. So I get why they have the character like this. I get it. I understand it wholeheartedly, 100%. I get it. I understand. Still... because of the whole bee thing and the hound, I'm giving it a 2-star. It just confuses me. But just it's weird, all right? You know, I'm buzzing mad. This has me buzzing with anger. Buzzing. Just absolutely 2 stars. 2 stars. 2 stars. You're lucky I didn't give you 1. All right, Asmodeus. What do you want me to say? What can I say about this guy? He's a rooster. Got that color. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's obviously... You know, I don't know. Man, he looks fine. I don't have one thought about this guy. Literally. He's just there. He's a plot character. He's just there. He's close to Fizzarolli, and that's about it. I don't have an issue with this design. I don't have a problem. He looks fine. I don't really have anything that I can add to it. I don't have a problem. You know, it goes along with the lust aesthetic, I guess. But yeah, 4-star. Okay, Fizzarolli, we're almost done. We only have a couple left. We only have, like, after this, we have 5 more. Let's just rapid fire. Go. Fizzarolli. We don't really have a problem with this. I don't have a problem with this. He goes along with the clown aesthetic fairly well. The whole thing with him being fully an imp but white also makes sense in terms of the story as well because of the whole accident he's been in. And a lot of people don't know this, but this individual is technically a paraplegic. His limbs are robotic. That's the reason why his limbs are fully black and there's barely any red there. So that's honestly an interesting choice for a character. And you also see how his hat kind of looks like horns, but in actuality, them motherfuckers ain't horns. That's just his hat. His hat is there, but his horns are broken. So if anything, that's an interesting idea. Having the hat imitate the horns, great idea, honestly. I honestly think that was a great choice. It's a great idea. It's kind of like him living his life as if he was completely whole in a way, and then when you take it off, it's just like, oh, he's still got some baggage. He's got some trauma. Really bad trauma. I think the main thing with me is that I would like to see the colors pop a little more. I get that they're going for the more neon type of coloring, like the light pastel type of colors, but I think it'd be nice to see if the colors pop a little bit more, like have the reds be, or reds or pinks be a little bit more vibrant, and have the blues be a little bit more vibrant as well. I honestly don't really have much to say other than that. I mean, honestly, the design is not bad. I honestly don't have a problem with it. It's really good. It's a really good design, so I'm gonna give it a 4-star. You did good. You did good, Fizzarolli. You did good. You my boy. Okay. Agents 1 and 2. I like the fact that one of them has melanin. I don't know, man! These two characters are literally cardboard. They are cardboard, alright? You want me to say it? They are cardboard. There's nothing interesting about these two characters, at least not in my opinion. They are human agents trying to prove demons are real and trying to take them down. That is it. That is really all they have going for them. They don't have deep plot lines. They don't have deep things about their character designs that kind of go with their story or whatever. It's just agents. It's agents. It's Agent 1 and Agent 2. Agent Black and Agent White. Mr. Black and Mr. White. I mean, that's it. That's all I really got going for this. No, wait. It's literally Mr. Black and Mr. White. Except Mr. White is Mrs. White. That's the entire difference to it. That's it. But honestly, I don't blame that on the characters, designs specifically. I blame that on the series. When you have a bunch of characters that are demons and shit, that are like, have like these, just these crazy designs, you kind of get thrown into the mix, or thrown into the back, when all you are is just a human with freaking suits. That's it. You just got suits. It looks like you belong in that one series with Dooley Hill suits. That's it. That's it. You are delegated to a series that nobody talks about anymore. 1 star. You know what? No. 2 stars. 1 star for you and 1 star for you. 2 stars. That's what I'm giving y'all. I don't want to talk about the Cherubs. I really don't want to talk about the Cherubs. I don't give a shit about the Cherubs. The Cherubs are not really interesting to me. The Cherubs are very boring to me. But I guess we're going to have to talk about the Cherubs. Okay. Let's talk about the Cherubs. I'm just going to rapid fire this. Really quickly. Just really fast. I'm just going to rapid fire this. Just that. I don't like the kid. The kid looks really annoying to me. I just don't like this one. Colin looks fine. Colin the lamb. Colin looks great. I don't have a problem with it. I like how his hooves are in the shape of a heart because heaven. Great job. 4 star. Baby gets 1 star. And then the Keeney, whatever the flying flip, whatever animal you are, you look fine. You're the second. You know, you're fine. I really don't have anything to say to you. You're cream colored. You're cream colored and you're yellow. That's it. That's all there really is to it. You get, you know what? You get 3 stars. Colin, you get 4. And baby boy, you get 1. That's all you get. Okay. 3 left. We're on the home stretch. Here. Satan! Okay. So, we have Satan. I honestly like this design. For one thing, it's symmetrical. I love that. That symmetrical design. Just, pops. Actually, no, it's not symmetrical because the left arm and the right arm is completely different. Everything else is fairly symmetrical though, like in terms of shape. Everything on the outside is symmetrical. Everything on the inside isn't. But here, I know the aesthetic they were going for. Country badass. That's it. Country badass. You got the buckle. You got the little skull buckle. You got the vest. And you got the shirt that shows off the pecs. Well, not really the pecs, but the biceps and the shoulders. That's what you got. Why does this individual have 2 horns, and why is one of the horns colored the same as imps? Is this a sign that this man is an imp? A higher imp? A stronger imp? Probably not. I feel like they just did that just because of the fact that black and white was something that was not really prevalent on this character. So they were just like, hey, let's throw a little curveball right at him. Let's throw a curveball. So, honestly, no problem here. I don't have an issue with the design. I think it looks perfectly fine. I think it's fine. I'm going to give it a 4 star. I don't have a problem with this design. Also, side note, little tangent. Why do we have Lucifer and Satan in the same freaking show? Didn't Lucifer become Satan in the Bible when the man was banished from hell? And that's like his whole thing, you know? The man is the same person. Isn't that like the whole thing in like, you know, the Bible? Because this show is heavily based off the Bible in terms of characters and in terms of like, you know, the plot, especially in Hazbin Hotel. Like, isn't that its whole thing? Like, I don't get why they did this. Why did they split Satan and Lucifer into two people? Is Satan and Lucifer two people in, like, what? Catholic Christianity? Or Catholicism? Or whatever? Is that how it works? I don't know. I honestly do not know. I'm gonna have to do research on that. But I'm fairly certain that those two are the same person. Why did they split the two people? I don't get it. Then it's... alright, tangent over. Let's just move on. 4-star. This fat bastard. Okay, Mammon. Sin of greed. What does this man exhibit that's greed? He looks like a Christmas tree jester. Am I saying this because he's round? No. I have no problem with characters with a little bit of pudge, with some of that meat, if you know what I mean. With some of that meat. I have no problem with that. In fact, I think that's great. I think we need characters with a little bit more of a huskier build, you know? We can move past just having really, really thin characters if it makes sense for the character. Which in this case, no. Because usually gluttony would be a bit of the rotund side. Because, you know, eating a bunch, it would make sense. But greed is all about money. Greed is just getting money and getting every single thing that they want that's material. But why would they do this? I don't know. I don't get it. I feel like it would be more interesting to see if, like, he was like a eccentric businessman that was constantly trying to get more money. Like a CEO. A CEO is constantly trying to get more money. A money-grubbing CEO would make sense for the sin of greed. But instead, we have Jester Man. Christmas tree Jester Man. I don't get why they decided to do this. It's not a bad design because of the way it looks. It's a bad design because of the fact that they gave it a strange... Like, they put it in a strange place. They put it in a weird spot that just doesn't make sense in terms of the character. I don't get it. I don't get why they did that. And not only that, wouldn't he be more envy? Green with envy? I feel like that would make more sense. I mean, I get it also, green for money, you know, here comes the money and all that sort of shit, but why? I don't understand. You get a 1-star. You get a no, that's harsh. Your design looks fine. It's just placed in the wrong setting. So I'm going to give it a 2-star. I'm going to give it a 2-star because the design is great, but the way it's placed is just baffling. It just baffles me. It baffles me. Honestly, it baffles me. Alright. Now we got the last character. Finally. Okay. Andrealphus. Alright, so Andrealphus. I get what they were going for. They were going for Elsa because ice. Obviously. Fucking obviously. Motherfucker is ice. We get it. We get it. But can we please calm down with all the blue? We have so much blue. We have light blue, dark blue, a shade of blue that's in the middle, a shade of blue that's further in the middle. We have gradients of blue that is all around. We have his outline that is a different shade of blue. Why are there so many blues for the character? You know, we can kind of calm down with the blues. Take Elsa, for instance. Okay, so we're gonna go to Elsa. Yes, I know nobody really likes Frozen. I fucking hate Frozen. But we're just gonna go into it anyway. So, Frozen. We have the character here. Yet, at the most, you have 2 to 3 shades of blue. You got the blue on the dress that kind of tapers down to a darker shade of blue, and then you have another shade of blue that's for the coverall and the sleeves of the actual outfit. So at the most you have like 3 shades of blue, and then everything else is the skin tone and the hair, which the hair is blonde and the skin tone is that usual Disney princess white. We need more Disney princesses of color, people. I'm saying that right now. And then you have this character here This outfit here is the same way. The only difference is that the blues are a darker shade rather than him having lighter shades of blue instead. Here, it's like I'm getting attacked by 7 different types of blue raspberry snow cones. You got blueberry, you got raspberry, you got light sky raspberry, you got light blueberry, you got all these different types of blues. And I'm looking like, please, can't we chill? We get it. Chill, get it? We get it. We get it. We get it. You are an ice creature. A little bit of different colors wouldn't hate you, bro. It honestly would not hurt you. I feel like it would be nice if they implemented more white to his look. I feel like if they implemented white to the little fur that he's got on his shoulders, I feel like that would have been spectacular. I feel like that would have been fine. The darker shades of blue on the tail and on the tips of the hair and then on the shirt is great. Breaks up the flow a little bit. Breaks up the monotony. But seriously, people, we've got so many shades of blue. Can we please calm down? This has got to be a color theorist's worst nightmare, because now you have not just your blue or the normal blue, you have this blue, that blue, that blue, this blue, this blue, this blue looks more green, no, this blue looks more teal. Which blue is which? I don't get it. I've said blue more times today than I've said in the last couple of months. 3-star. It's other than that, I don't really have much of a problem with it. It still goes along with the character, with him being a very, I'm just gonna say it, a very type of, you know, feminine type of dude, you know? Like, you look at this man, you obviously can tell this motherfucker gay. This man is homosexual. This man is batting for the other team. This man is not asking for females. This man is asking for the males. You know, that's who he's asking for. That's who he's looking at. So, you know, perfectly fine. And you know what? Respect. We respect that. Pretty sure nobody's gonna give a fucking hell, though. You're already in hell. It's not like there's anything that's illegal, for the most part. Well, but apparently it is, because, yeah, trials and shit. Oh, okay. We did it. We did all of the Helluva boss characters. This, honestly, was a roller coaster. I don't think I've gotten this heated and this opinionated in a while, and I'm not even kidding. Fortunately, though, it doesn't seem like there's gonna be more characters in the future, so maybe I'll do an update to this video later on down the road, but it really depends. And who knows, maybe I'll do a Helluva or a Has-Been Hotel one instead as well. Who knows? I've got a lot to say about Has-Been Hotel. I got a lot to say, but yeah, thanks if you've gotten to this far of the video. Thanks for watching. It really means a lot. This one was a little bit of a different type of video. This one was completely unscripted. I don't have a single fucking script. So, it honestly was really fun. I was just able to go fly off the handle and, you know, not seem so static, robotic. So it was nice. Anyway, thanks to everybody for watching. Episode 8 is in the works. I'm getting everything situated. I'm halfway done with the script. There's a possibility this may be the final episode of The Human and the Hellhound, which means that the next 2 arcs can finally begin, and you guys can finally get caught up on the new stuff that I didn't finish on Wattpad back in the day when it was actually on there. So, yeah. Hope you guys are excited. And anyway, stay tuned. If you liked, like, share, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. All that haze squaze. Thank you very much. And hope you guys have a hell of a day.